Okay, fellow warriors, welcome back. And I know it's been a few weeks. We're going to try to get a couple more videos up. I've been averaging 3 videos a month, but I've missed the last few weeks because of all the holidays and family coming and going, that kind of thing. But what I want to talk about tonight is the types of officers and what they do and where you can find this information. How can you see how much gold you have in the Capitol? I mean, in the palace, that kind of thing. So we're going to start out by reviewing what is in the palace. So how you get there is you go over to this icon, your events icon. You click on that. Let me get out of this real quick. Okay. You open the events icon, it's going to open like that. So you have to go down all the way down to find Clash for the Throne. And Clash for the Throne, we just got done with it, so it's going to be at the bottom of Get Ready. It comes on every day, every 8 days, and it lasts for basically 3 days, 2 days of fighting and 1 day of voting. And so it goes from the 8th day to the 11th day, and then it starts over again, counting out 8 more days, and then it hits 3 days again. So every 8 days, you have basically every 11 days, you have in that period a 3 day period for Clash for the Throne. So when you come down here and click on Clash for the Throne, it's going to open, and you see here we got 7 days, 17 hours. We just finished it. Here you can go into the palace, you could go into the Senate, but let's go into the palace. In the palace, you can see what our treasury is. The royal treasury right now has 154 million ingots in this particular kingdom, and that's in the treasury. And also in this tab will show you the different types of. Now the king will have this option of choosing who's what, and you have all these different types of officers. You get down here, it says these are negative type titles. All right. We don't see a whole lot of this except for in the newer kingdoms. People get crazy. They call each other cowards and dummies and pig farmers and all kinds of crazy stuff. But let's go through some of these officers here real quick. The hand of the king. The hand of the king has the ability to buy things out from the treasure and use the ingots, and he can buy bonuses such as the postal routes, open the postal routes, and things like that. Um, he's also, hand of the king is typically the second in charge of the kingdom. I know the queen is down there, but the queen typically does just as much work as the hand of the king does. But the hand of the king technically is the second leader in the kingdom in case the king is incapacitated temporarily because of sickness or whatever. And he also would set up appointments for the king, that kind of stuff. The queen is the publicity person. The queen is responsible for all the positive things that happen, and she also has the ability to buy bonuses, pay for bonuses in the kingdom. And we've already talked about Ingus, but if you'll remember, Ingus does not do you any good in your city, so you send them to the capital as taxes, and this is what they use them for. All right. So the queen is the face of the kingdom. She's the positive um, part of the kingdom. If someone needs help, they can go to her, and she a lot of times will help with uh, um, uh, directing that person where to get more resources, or sometimes the queen even gives resources out. Many queens have helped me out big time. All right. The centurion. The centurion is basically the first knight of the kingdom. and he is immediately under the king, and that's why he gets 25% bonus of army health and 25% bonus of valor and experience. He's the one that's basically the warlord, if you will. If him or if the king or the hand of the king uh, approaches the centurion and asks him to um, defend or start up maybe the royal guard, he would be in charge of the royal guard and that kind of stuff. He's kind of the warlord part of the kingdom. Chancellor. Chancellor is the one that does most of the marketing. He is supposed to be someone that helps with controlling resources in the kingdom. He would typically make sure that there is a tax collector, for example, and he kind of watches over that. He is also a immediate counselor to the king. The hand of the king is also a counselor to the king, but the hand of the king is more heavy-handed. The chancellor is more of a politician. Okay. Treasurer, that's self-explanatory. The treasurer also has uh, the ability to um, uh, deal with the ingots, and he has the ability to pull ingots out of the treasury and use them as necessary. He doesn't really have any political or military stout. He's just the one that counts the beans and bullets, if you will. All right, Archon and Quaestor. Well, let me skip Quaestor for a minute. Well, I'll go right into Quaestor. Quaestor is typically the chief uh, adjudication officer. He's the main judge in the kingdom, and he overwatches Archon, tribune, and the legate or legate. Now, those three are lawyers, and they would be responsible for dealing with um, if a complaint comes all the way up to the court. The Quaestor will give that particular case to one of these three, or either the Archon, tribune, or the legate, and they would kind of be the case officer for that complaint. Let's say there was an illegal attack, and the person that was attacked could not get that resolved with the other with the other clan, and so he would make a complaint to the king through the Quaestor, and the Quaestor kind of has the ability to act on it without the king's necessarily input, unless it was something very serious. For example, if this is so bad that the person is going to be called an outlaw, the Quaestor would probably go to the king and say, "Look, here's what we got," and then the king would say, "Yeah, I think he needs to be have outlaw status." So that's kind of how these four work. The Quaestor is in the supervisor of the Archon, tribune, and legate, and they take care of the legal issues. Like I said, these titles here are those that are given to um, players that are being kind of a pain. They're not following the general row rules of engagement, and they refuse to pay for their damages or replenish the person they've attacked illegally, and so they would get one of these titles. Your basic kingdom that is mature, and they don't have too many problems. You don't see this very often. In the new kingdoms, you see them quite often. Okay, those are the officers of the kingdom, and I'm going to go ahead and stop there on this particular uh, video. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, please share them. And Make sure you click on that like button and also click on the button that you want to join this, join us there, and that way you won't miss any of the videos that come out. You guys have a great evening, and we'll see you on the battlefield.